Will this be the final throes of the Demon King? Is his time finally at an end? He's been pulled out of Zeldris' body. Zeldris is back to his normal self. He is no longer in possession. Well, no longer possessed by the Demon King. I guess you could say in possession by the Demon King. But at this point, the Demon King has said completely, fuck it, I don't want to be part of you guys anymore. You guys don't need to be here anymore. If I can't have you guys as a vessel, I'm going to make this land my vessel and hit the 10 commandments, just scatter out into the area and get absorbed into the landscape itself. Ends up absorbing a bunch of the wildlife, the trees, again, literally just the mass of the ground, and he's now one with the terrain. And I've mentioned before, I am a big sucker for cool monster designs and designs itself. Like, it's something I think is really cool. I'll check a series out of a character who just looks really cool, has, certain really cool monsters. That's an easy way to draw my attention. And we had like the initial Demon King form, which just made me think of those big ice giants from Wrath of the Lich King in World of Warcraft. If you go look up those the ice giants in World of Warcraft, they look pretty much exactly like the Demon King. I mean, that's the only thing I could ever think of when I looked at his character in his initial form. And then we got the Meliodas possessed version, which I thought was pretty cool. I liked one. I really liked the spooky like shoulder claw hands. I thought that was neat. We got the initial form for Zeldris on his body, which I really liked that one. And then, moving up, we got the like weird, like long-haired and bearded, kind of like, what was that guy's name? Slater or whatever? Slade? The dude who was a member of one of Britannia's crew. The gay dude with the mask. It made me just think of that guy every single time, because the way that his face was and his hair. But that wasn't his final form, because now he's got this, and this actually feels like a final form. The version he had, and he had like the weird shoulders, and the one that he's had for a while now, he was using against all these characters literally until the last chapter. That one didn't really have this feel of a final boss to me. He just looked like a big dude. But this looks like a final boss. Now this is sick. It reminds me a lot of the one is Behemoth. Is it Behemoth Kodal from Starship Troopers? I think that's the dude's name. He was like the giant bug. If you look him up, he looks very similar. He actually has a similar mouth, but the mouth of this guy looks more of the Demon King now looks more like if you saw the Endura kind of like foreshadow for Zeldris, because he has that kind of like weird, or not Zeldris, for Cusack, that weird like tentacle over the sides of the mouth look. And also reminds me of one of the bosses from Half-Life Opposing Force. I gotta look it up because I wanted to mention that, but I forgot to look it up because I can't remember if that one had a name. I think it was just like Race X or something. It didn't have like or Gene Worm. There we go. That was what it was. If you look that up, I mean, not entirely, but I see it coming out of a portal similar. Well, there's no portal. It just makes me think of it. But with that, it just, I had a lot of fun like looking at this design, because not only is it cool in and of itself, it's cool because it makes me think of other designs I really like. So very much appreciated, you Demon King. I appreciate you now that you've given this form and this design to the series, because it makes your character, even though he's been getting beaten up for a while, at least you gave something that was really fun and interesting. So here he is, deciding, well, I'm going to just say screw it. I'm going to take on this big mass, and he's pretty much just, I mean, he's essentially a mountain range. He's pretty much a living mountain range at this point, and I'm wondering if he's going to be more powerful, because if he's connected to the ground, maybe he can straight absorb magic out of it, because he's connected. He should technically be connected to that lake again, because they built that platform in order to separate him from it, so he should be fine. Because he like just straight putting like his hand in there, absorbing it all, and just going full unleashed mode. I'm assuming this is gonna be the final fight. Maybe we'll get some like big end series feats. Maybe we'll like cut Britannia in half by the end of this. destroy like him and completely like blow away all these storm clouds and have the sunlight come in and you know shine upon their country as as this dude like crumbles away. It's it's gonna be an unfortunate thing. The thing that I am worried about is Mama Hawk's on her way, and I assume everyone here has watched the movie. And if you haven't, skip like 20 seconds ahead. Because in the movie, it's revealed that Mama Hawk is the mother of Chaos, and I guess the mother of Chaos is supposed to be stronger than Meliodas. So if she shows up, I don't want her to do anything. I'm annoyed that that reveal happened. That, oh, look at this character who's pretty much just there all the time that doesn't really do much. She's actually absurdly powerful, probably more powerful than the Demon King. And it's like, that it makes me lose a lot of tension if you have this character who's supposedly way stronger than all these other characters, like including the main cast. Then what tension is there? Because couldn't she just show up and eat any of their attacks and completely demolish other characters around her, like the Demon King? I don't want her to go because I feel like she's gonna do something annoying that's gonna bother me. Like the Demon King's gonna do some really big attack, and I'm like, sweet, I get to see this big badass move from him, and then Mohawk's just gonna eat it or something. But as it is right now, I've got my hopes up that he'll at least do some cool things before he drops. I didn't like that we had like cool moves from him already. Like he had we got stuff like that little hand spin, but anytime he did like those little weird sage sentries that spawned out of his body, those were really neat because they were weird, and yet we didn't really get to see much of those. And I want to see more of this guy's ability because he's supposed to be the final boss. And I've mentioned before, so I already know because there's probably gonna be 7 at least. I didn't get a whole lot out of Akinalogi near his end, but we already knew what he was capable of. We knew what he could do. The Demon King has been apparently like further hyping himself up and while getting a beating. And now he's literally merged into the ground, and he needs to do some cool stuff before his out. I want to see him just drop some big old attacks, do some fancy stuff, make his presence known. Because like otherwise, that's gonna be like, well, what do we remember from the Demon King? He got beaten up for a while, like a long time, and now he's in this cool giant form with like a Cthulhu face, and he's got like all these hands like on his front. It would be really cool also if he made some hands on the opposite side, so they have to like it pretty much becomes like a group team fight. Moreover, not just like straight fighting this guy like essentially they're in like a boss battle from a video game. They're in a raid group. In the Demon King, I want him to add like phases, like, oh, this is the phase where he attacks us from behind. Oh, this is the phase where he drops attacks from the sky. Oh, he's attacking us on the ground. We gotta drop platform and move on to the next stage. Please, Demon King. I haven't enjoyed the Demon King's presence. I've made that very much known in my videos. I liked the idea of Mel Starosa being the final villain, being this fallen angel between light and dark, having this kind of like Nephilim chaos-like form. Didn't get that. The Demon King was just like this. He didn't really have anything very interesting about him, other than being, he was supposed to, like, representing this big, powerful, like, dominating wall type character. And he was like that in his initial debut, and then after that, he just kept getting beat up on. But this hopefully will make up for it. I want to see some like straight devastating presence. I want to see him like pushing and being the 7 deadly sins like hell, and they have to do some because they have the combinational attacks, and it's pretty much a multiplier. So we need like a full all 7 deadly sins like combine their power into one big attack. Maybe make that dragon that's in the shape of Meliodas' tattoo, or what if it's like maybe like each of their animal, like their sins, takes like a shape and then kind of all merge up, and it's like 7 deadly sins chimera or something, and it just has like it's like a big attack with all these animal heads for each of their symbols, all lashing out and like chewing, like pretty much blasting into the Demon King, and like their energies like crushing and like slashing and clawing at him and just breaking him away. I think that would be really neat because it would also just kind of give some credence to their group itself, and their logos, and give a logical defeat, a combinational attack from them, because we know that's a thing, and this whole battle hasn't been like relating into, oh, it's Meliodas versus the Demon King. No, it's the Seven Deadly Sins. It's a group fight. It's all their efforts combined against this guy. Like, other than that, like Meliodas, because Meliodas, I imagine, is going to be like, he's the front runner. He's the strongest guy of the group. And he hasn't even dropped his Demon King power. Meliodas, get in your shit. Get your form up. But he doesn't have a lot of techniques, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't have a lot of attacks. He's got, like, most of his stuff is like full counter. And if he full counters the Demon King and wins, that's going to be stupid. Because it just reflect attack back. Okay, cool. I want to see something cool, like a big group merged final attack like that. Like, again, just imagine each of their sin tattoo animals all like merged into one big attack that just kind of like destroys the Demon King. That would look badass. On top of, it'd have a lot of emotional weight behind it. For the Demon King, though, I hope he at least gets to look like a final boss for a bit before the end. Because we know he's gonna lose. I mean, let's not pretend he's not gonna lose. But I want him to go out looking cool, because not only is he's the final boss, but this form, I can't lie. Like, I was really hyped to read this chapter because I looked at the spoilers and I saw this, and I was super hyped. Like, I really like the design. I like the idea behind it. I like the concept of him merging with the ground. I like the way that it feels like on this platform. It just all like merges up well. This feels like a final battle to me. Though I still contemplate that Nakaba is going to make his next series based within the same world as the Seven Deadly Sins, which is what I'm hoping. I like the idea of all these mangaka now getting on their big successful works and making it kind of like an expanded universe. Making their series either connect or future series take place in the same world. It gives the other series a lot more kind of like reason to read. Like, say if you like Kirishima, he's done Rave Master, Fairy Tail, and now Eden Zero, and you got Heroes now. So it's like, if you've only read Eden Zero, like say you just got into manga and one of the series you read is Eden Zero, you're like, well, if you read Heroes, or if the series like find a way to all like in their main continuity be connected, that gives incentive to read the other two series. Like, if Nakaba does another series and it takes place in Japan, because otherwise I still don't get the point of Nanashi's character when he was not relevant and there was no reason for Japan to really exist in the series. Well, we know Japan exists because it takes place in real designed Earth, but in a fictional setting. But maybe it takes place in that world. It's like, okay, I started this series, whatever the Nanashi spinoff would be called. But be like, well, I read this, but I never read Seven Deadly Sins. Oh, maybe I should read that because maybe it'll make more sense to aspects in this series, or it'll be more fun because it'll add a lot to it. You know what I mean? It gives a bonus to it. I mean, like the Demon King, I'm hoping he goes out strong. I'm hoping he delivers some cool presents. I mean, this panel alone is like a really cool presence, but here's some cool stuff. I don't want it to look like the Seven Deadly Sins just kind of ran through them and it's like, okay, cool, guys, hit the showers. I want it to be like, wow, we barely won that. How are we all alive? Well, Escanor's probably gonna die. Should die. We already know that he should die. But as it is, Demon King, I believe in you. I believe in you to perform and get this looking good before you're out. And other than that, comment below, tell me your thought about this chapter and what you think about. Like, do you love this form? I love this form. I think it looks fantastic. I really love the lightning around it too. The fact that you can see him from a ways away. So like, if you're miles away and you see this, you're just like, what the fuck? On over there. And other than that, I really appreciate you befriend the like button, subscribe button, and I messed up my outro. If you'd hit the like button, befriend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But on that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.